Okay, ako po si Ranjit Ramos Shahani. Tumanda na, 56. Ako po yung dating Vice-Governor of Pangasinan. The youngest Vice-Governor in the history of Pangasinan. Pagkatapos, naging two-term congressman ako. Yung ako ng congressman sa 95, pinabatang congressman si Mike Defensor. Pangalawa si Afecto. Pangatlo si pinsan ko, taga Pangasinan din, Nanay Braganza. Tapos ako, I was the fourth youngest member of Congress. I served until 2001. And after that, I was elected board member twice. Now, I'm a member of the Manila Economic Council Office, which is our de facto embassy in Taipei, Taiwan, separate from our official embassy in Beijing, the capital of the People's Republic of China.
So, sir, what does leadership mean to you?
It's very simple. In our country, we have many problems. And my uncle, President Ramos, did a lot to address some of the problems, many of the problems. But our fundamental problem is poverty. We must uplift the majority of Filipinos from having a very hard life into a decent, productive, well-meaning life. And that means bringing them up, not only in terms of education and training. Ang huli, ano pong hanap po nila? Especially we have to help the farmers since we are still fundamentally an agricultural province. So the goal of the Philippines is really to move our country from third world status to first world status. As leader here in the Asia-Pacific region, one of the leaders of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN.
So, sir, can you describe the key actions and behaviors of the person that you've experienced as your best leader?
Well, I hate to admit it because you can't choose your friend. You can choose your friends, not your relatives. But I really think the best leader is former President Fidel Valdez Ramos. You know, he's worked very hard. When he was PC chief, Philippine Constabulary chief, he was chief of the PC for the longest time, 13 years. He slept only 4 hours a day. 12 o'clock until 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, yung mga aide-de-camp niya, nakaklipid na yung mga newspapers. So whatever the major issues are, he can give instructions and red ball pen who to send the information to for constructive action. And the president did a lot in moving the country forward. I think he himself would be the best example of progressive constructive leadership.
So, sir, are leaders born or made?
I think both. You inherit the genes of your forebears, and if they're good leaders, you inherit the potential. But it's not that birthright only. There's also the training and the education. So it's a combination of both. If you're born with leadership skills inherent to your family, then if they're nurtured and groomed in you, you can rise.
Who are your role models and their characteristics?
Well, I already told you about FDR. But there's also my mother, Nadisha, the younger sister of FDR. She is the first woman Senate Vice President or Senate Pro Tempore. She worked very hard. She was the first Filipino to graduate with highest honors from the University of Paris. She speaks French very well. She was married to my father, of course, who was Indian, but also Finnish from University of Paris. It's called the Sorbonne. And that's, they met and they married. I'm one of their products. And my mom passed that legislation on Subic and Clark,
Yes.
on women's rights, on foreign policy, many issues. She was our ambassador to Australia and Romania. And she was Assistant Secretary General of the UN based in Vienna in the 80s. So My mother is a very good example.
So, sir, what have you learned from them?
A lot. Leadership.
So, sir, what can leaders do to help others in the organization see in the future?
Oh, well, I told you guys, unfortunately, now our main problem is ecological. It's not jobs, it's not eradicating poverty. Because we can get back those jobs if we're facing the end of the world.
So, sir, what are some of the actions you take to create climate for change and encourage risk-taking? Can you be specific for that, sir?
Well, we have to face facts. We need to stop the carbon emissions. Well, maybe that means shifting from normal cars, carbon dioxide, monoxide is their product, to electronic cars. And we have to stop the polluting industries, meaning those fueled by coal, those that contribute to the carbon dioxide growth in the atmosphere, shift to solar power, wind power, other than traditional means of energy, so that we can bring down the temperature of the earth to acceptable levels to allow all of us to get back to the real problems of progress, addressing poverty, giving people jobs, good education, a successful future under a planet that can be managed. If not, I was talking before you came. You know what my answer is? That kayo subagay spaceship, transfer to Mars. If the Earth will not cool down, how will life continue? If the temperatures increase, the agriculture will die, the animals will die, we'll have no water. What will happen is around the Earth, a lot of these places will become deserts. So the world population will have to cluster in certain areas na life will not be continue to be diminished and maybe later extinguished.
Yes.
Di ba?
Yes, yes.
Because with no more water, how do we survive? But the moon and Mars have water. But we must preserve planet Earth.
Yes, sir. Sir, should leaders let their constituents fail? Can you explain your answer?
No. The job of a leader is to help their constituents. Unless they're asking for the wrong thing. We should not be corrupt. We should not steal. We should not rob. So we should teach them a lesson. In fact, those kind of constituents, we should let fail so they'll learn a lesson. And I'm very keen, like other Filipino leaders are, on giving Filipinos a second, even a third chance. So the first chance, let them fail, they'll learn their lesson. So next time, they will succeed. We cannot, I'm sorry, I'll speak out. I am a supporter of President Duterte, but we should not support extrajudicial executions. Pati mga bata, walang kasalanan. And drug pushing is not punishable by death.
Yes.
We should not kill Filipinos without a proper reason.
Yes.
That is very important. That is something which is sanctified by all Filipinos. We are predominantly Catholic and Protestant and Muslim. Hindi pwede patay ang kunin yung buhay ng ibang tao. Kasalanan kay Diyos yan. But I think the President is now trying to improve on that.
Yes.
Because his aim was to eradicate drugs, so there were some problems, of course.
So, sir, how can leaders create a climate of trust and facilitate relationships among people in a work team?
Well, you must show proper leadership. Stand by your principles.
Sir, what are 3 things that can be done to improve in each leadership practice? And what are the 3 things that you can do to continue learning to be a better leader?
Well, you must have a vision for your country. And you must practice what you preach. I mean, you can't advocate these things if you yourself don't do it. You must be a living model of what you're talking about. No? And you must, lastly, create the opportunities for people to become leaders. Give them opportunities, let them be exposed to the community, see all the problems of the country, then give them a leadership opportunity if they're deserving so they can move up. Is that your role? To to always be on top. It's your role, my role, being a nephew of president, being a congressman, is to serve as a temporary model to bring up. I always said my district when I was congressman, kaya gusto ko ang maging congressman, yung ating magsasaka. When you can get the farmer to take the proper education, still being a farmer, and then become a leader.
Yes.
Because only he knows what is best for his people. Look, I was born in America. I'm half Indian, but I still love the Philippines. I kept my U.S. citizenship so I could run for Congress. But the one who really loved the Philippines is the one from the soil itself. Talagang Pilipinong-Pilipino. Because our problems were resolved by the Filipinos themselves. Kami tagapagtulong lang. That's why the dynasties better be careful. They're the source of many of our political problems. The sooner there are less of them, the better for the country. That's why you must support poor Filipinos who are very bright, give them a chance, and if they run, help them with campaign expenses so they can win.
So, sir, tell me about a time you struggled with work-life balance. Did you manage to solve the problem? And how did you do it?
I respect those politicians who manage to balance their public life with their private life.
Yes,
But
sir.
I do not begrudge those who sacrifice their private life for public service. That's very important because this time we need more of them to push the country upwards. Then later on, everyone can have a normal life when the Philippines is normally a progressive nation.
So, sir, how do you monitor the performance of individual team members? In what specific ways do you motivate your team?
There should be someone. You need a good assistant to remind you as leader what is the current status of every team member, whether it's a congressional team, a senatorial team, a company team, a provincial government team, to see who is able to perform at proper standards. But don't forget, in politics, if you get mad at staff who don't do their jobs, which is the proper thing to do, or to tell them to do their jobs, if you're too political, you might lose their support. So you have to find a way how to tell them they should improve, but not lose their support. Because it'll be self-defeating naman. O, di ba?
Yes, sir. So, last question, sir. How would you describe your leadership style?
I like getting mad at my staff. But then, I'm always talking very loudly. I'm used to being a congressman. In fact, you can ask the waiters here, the Whistlestop, I talk the loudest. But then, if the other customers get angry, I'll say, oh, I'm a congressman. Kayong kilalang congressman, tahimik. But when I get angry with them, I'm just trying to encourage them to be more serious with them. I'm not really angry with them. Tinataas ko lang ng bosses ko to encourage them. Then later on, go out drinking, we meet, we talk as equals, and we want to inspire them to serve the country even more. So, parang barkada. But sometimes, if you're a leader, you have to be like the father, konting distansya. Because you'll only be a leader if they look up to you, not at you, up to you. Because you're older, you're better, you're stronger at that point in time. You're grooming them to take your place. So they should be humble about it. Because later, they themselves will be the leaders who will be talking to other people, wanting to replace them later on. So we must work together as a team. That's why the Philippines with young people who have good imaginations, who are millennials, who are high-tech, but who must always be. Well, I don't know about the debate. Anong balang magdebate dyan? Baka next paper nyo. What is the difference between nationalism and patriotism? The patriotism in America, they're saying Trump says he's a nationalist because Hitler and other people were so pro whatever country, to no matter excluding other nationalities. That's not the kind of nationalism we want. It's really our patriotism to love your country, but to be also accepting of others, not to be exclusive, inclusive. And on that note, I'd rather say bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Kain ka na.
Thank you po.
Oh, if you have one.
Opo, kakain.
Oh, you guys eat pa. You have to help you later in your other studies. So you're all second year?
First year college. We're supposed to be third year college, but...